check these bags out. Watch. And wait, I gotta push it. It's a demo bike. It's your bag space. It's a pretty good amount. A little soft touch close. All right. I think we're ready finally. All right, let's try this again. You know, I just realized I haven't been doing my intros. Vbeast, guys. All right, so let's do this again. So this is the 2022 Lowrider ST. This is the option with the gray, which is a gunship gray, which it says here $22,199. Okay, I hate the pegs. It always grips onto my jeans. I don't know if that's just a me problem or people have that problem. 117, baby. Oh yeah. 117, baby. God, I love this engine. I just love it. Ooh, blinkers on. Okay. Since I already rode this, I have really good initials. The initial response on this bike is it's very peppy, very cruisable, without a doubt, because it's a cruiser. It's very smooth. You know, I didn't really think I could do that much mileage on it, but after getting off the Sportster S, I think I could put in some miles on this, even though my position of my knees is very high. It's a possibility. Anyways, so this fairing, it is not blocking any wind whatsoever from my helmet. It's not quite like running without a windshield or a fairing, but it's very close because I'm getting all this wind in my helmet, and I hope that you guys can actually hear me. But it is blocking it off my chest. Definitely blocking it off my chest. It's doing that. It's not, you know, ooh, bumps. Ooh, it absorbs those bumps really well. You know, so we're going 65, and I'm not being pushed off the bike. It's definitely not like a motorcycle without a windshield or anything up front. So it is blocking enough to where it would be comfortable to do some touring on. There is minimal bag space, but there's also an option to put like a small trunk on here. The seat is too soft. It's not going to be there's not going to be a bunch of touring on this seat, even just solo. Well, because it is a solo seat, but it's too soft. It's too soft of a seat. I can tell right off the bat. Your seat should have a little bit of stiffness in it because it will wear in over time. And these are demo bikes, so these bikes have a few miles on it. They should have been wore in already. And that this seat is very soft, which over time is going to be a little achy on the backside. I know that because my seat's massively worn in on my Victory, and it's just, yeah, buddy. That's it. Ooh, that 117 plant is amazing. I love it. Sounds great. Well, it sounds more like a little bit louder than a sewing machine because it's stock, but it still sounds good. Yeah, this bike it's flickable. The suspension it absorbs a lot of bumps. Like I said before, I rode this already, so it absorbs a lot of those potholes very nicely. It does it very nice. There's a lot of shock travel in the rear end of this bike, and it does have the dual inverted front forks, which gives it a little bit of a sporty feel. You know, a lot of people may not even tell the difference between an inverted fork and a standard fork, and I'll be honest, it's difficult. I mean, just to point it out, you've got to be really ripping up some canyons to tell the difference, because if you put a set of cartridges in your standard forks, it's going to be even worse. I mean, you may not even tell the difference between an inverted fork and a standard fork with some new cartridges in it. cartridges. I think I'm saying that right. I've always called them cartridges. You put your drop-in springs and maybe some little bit heavier fluid. You get this. You'll get this feel. But it's a very sporty feeling bike. The sitting position is just like that one up there, which is the Lowrider S, and this is of course the ST, which has the fairing and bags, but it has the same feel as that. I don't know, I might ride that one next. I haven't been on that in a minute, but this one feels a little bit higher. The pegs feel a little bit higher. It feels like I can corner this thing a tad bit more than the regular Lowrider S. The downshifting, superb. Oh, we got little peepses. Oh, we got little peepses over here. Oh, my lid's open. All right, we got little peepses over there. All right. Yeah, this bike is just fun. All right, so if you're gonna do a little bit of touring, maybe go a little bit of distance, and you don't own a Rolls Royce, I'm sorry, that's a cool car too. You're doing all that. You're gonna do a little bit of touring. You got some bag space, and I didn't mention this, they're lockable bags as well. You do have some protection, like riding at 50, 55, 56. This fairing is absorbing probably 80% of the wind. You know, I'm getting a little bit, there's a total dead spot here. There is zero air movement right here. And then when it comes closer to me, I'm getting very, very little air movement, but that's really good. So this bike would be good for in town. I guess you could call that touring. In-town touring, if that's a thing. Maybe not. So if you're going 50 up to 50 miles an hour, this thing's gonna block like 100% of the wind almost. Like 80%, that's what I said, right? Ooh, big bump. Wow, I took it like nothing. Like nothing. Yo, the shock setup on this is really good. I like it. Ooh, man. This is a good bike. If you're doing small touring, like I said, this is great. You don't want a heavy bike. You don't want a big, heavy street glide, road glide. You don't want an ultra with all the luggage, but you do want some bag space. This bike is a very good option, and perhaps you really enjoy this fairing. I really like the fairing, the look of it. It's very, very retro. I like it. The suspension is superb. It absorbs. Oh, we're going to the gas station. It absorbs a lot. This is fun. Word to the wise though, these pegs, they will catch your pants. Maybe if you're shorter they won't, but it ends up catching my pants like that every time I go to stop. All right, so we do got a little bit of a headwind. So this is almost like right on the freeway. But one thing I didn't get to mention was these little fins down here. So those, I hope I got those. See those little fins? All right, so those fins, that's what helps buffeting. A lot of people think buffeting comes from here. Nice bump. It was fine. So a lot of people think that buffeting comes from over the windshield, and perhaps just a little bit does, but the majority of it comes from down here in these areas. I can really tell that on my Victory because it was just a horrible design on the bottom end of on those front fairings. So all of the buffeting comes directly from this area on at least my bike, but this is where wind is coming up, hitting this air coming over you, and it makes a very turbulent type of wind movement, and that creates the buffeting on your helmet. So like I said, this is a very small fairing. It doesn't block 100% of the air, neither does a big fairing, but a big fairing blocks more than this, and that's fine. But with this one, on the freeway, I didn't get any wind buffeting at all, and I'm used to so much wind buffeting, it's insane.
Yeah, the turn radius on this is pretty when we go like that.
He does not like the bars. I don't like how that one is either. I used to like them, but then after I started riding it, I just don't like those bars. I need something else on there. Anyway, so the position on this one, it's comfortable. This is a great bike. Again, if you're looking to do a small amount of touring and you don't want all this big stuff, oh, and perhaps you just want to ride without your bags, you can do that. This option, that's an option on this motorcycle. Now the fairing's not going to come off, but you can ride without bags. I don't know why you would ride without the bags. They actually, in my opinion, complement this bike very well. It's put together nicely. It's very snappy, smooth. It has a lot of power. It's fun. It has some protection on it. I mean, it's a lot of everything. It may be not the best at what's on it, everything that's on it, but it does it very well. Everything, this is a well-rounded in-between motorcycle. You can do some distance on it without a problem. It's very comfortable. The suspension, I'm really amazed by the suspension. There's a little bit more height on it that was added, I think, versus just the regular Lowrider S. And I can definitely feel that. It absorbs bumps very nicely. Okay guys, so with all that being said, ride what you ride, keep it Vbeast mode, and ride till the wheels fall off. This has been another random weekday video by your very own Vbeast. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, have a